FutureWorks is a community-based nonprofit. We've been around since 1984, and our whole focus really is helping people overcome barriers to employment, particularly barriers that are behavioral in nature, although they can be anything. And of course, people come with multiple barriers, and so the challenge is unraveling the sort of knot of these things that are causing them not to connect to the workplace and trying to help them understand and modify their behaviors so that they can be more successful. And we offer a bunch of programs throughout mainland Nova Scotia primarily, and a lot of our work is tied to training, entry-level training programs in environmental services or healthcare or hotel industry. And things like Connects are a short program in which what we're doing is providing people with some basic skills related to interviewing and resume writing and presentation and the like, but it's really a cover for doing detailed assessments of their employability and their essential skills and whatever technical skills they have certification in, so that we can recommend future training or work opportunities to their community service workers. Just a little bit of philosophy for you. All of our programming is based on the concept of an individual needing 3 sets of skills in order to be successful in work. So we're talking about a technical skills component that is specific to the job, the essential skills component that we all know of from the federal government, and for us the key piece is the base on which those stand, which we refer to as employability skills, but which you could call soft skills or personal management skills. From our perspective, you can have all the other skills in place, but if you don't have good employability skills, then your ability to connect consistently with work is going to be damaged. And what we often see with people is that they will take training and they will get improvements in essential skills and technical skills, but a lot of training programs don't tackle deficits in employability skills in a systematic and targeted way. And so people will complete training, they will still have the same issues that they came in with, and they won't get work. And they get caught in this sort of cycle of training. So what we were trying to do when we developed ESAT with the Counseling Foundation of Canada was provide a tool that would enable organizations to assess, to develop, and to track these soft skills in a more systematic and targeted way. So what we're trying to do with ESAT is provide the supports and a tool to help facilitate the conversations that are necessary to see changes in these personal skills. And we're doing that by establishing with ESAT a set of definitions and exemplars of what good soft skills looks like to an employer in a general sort of sense, in a Canadian general sense. We are trying to create an environment within the training program or the interaction in which employability skills are going to be addressed. The person understands they're going to be addressed. It's an expectation. And more than that, it's an obligation on the part of the staff to deal with it. So we're trying to elevate the employability skills to a level that's comparable with essential skills and technical skills. And of course, we're providing tools to support this action and assessment with ESAT and training where necessary. So the idea, I really like this image because what we're trying to do is we're trying to help all the people who are going to work with a student or a client. We're helping them coordinate their efforts so that they're really all contributing to this process of changing behaviors in a consistent way. So you can have whatever you want in these circles out here. Depends on the program you're running, who's going to be involved. But the idea is that they're all going to be connected through ESAT, sharing information, using the same language, using the same exemplars, and contributing to assessments so that you're dealing with the subjectivity of this kind of assessment process through group interaction and consensus building. The other thing I will note for you that'll be important later on in our discussions is this individual here may not be part of your organization. They could be somebody outside the organization who can contribute to the process in a way that is still respectful of confidentiality. What we're trying to do here is we're trying to see this individual from as many different perspectives and venues and times and interactions as possible, so that we can understand the triggers that are causing the behavioral issues for them. So let's talk about ESAT itself. It's a cloud-based assessment tool. It provides qualitative and quantitative measures of an individual's employability skills. Okay, and its purpose is it's not the be-all and end-all tool that's going to suddenly transform somebody all by itself into a successful employee. Its purpose is to facilitate the engagement between support workers and trainers and clients, so that these kinds of obstacles can be removed. And the applications that it's used in range from quite short to quite lengthy. So in our case, the shortest implementation we've had is 3 weeks in the program called Connects, which I mentioned, where we're not trying to change behaviors, but we are trying to provide greater self-awareness and an idea of how the person, the contrast between how they see themselves and how other employers will see them. So that's a 3-week window, 1 assessment cycle. We go all the way up to a 10-month program where we're training entry-level healthcare workers, what we call continual care assistants. And in that 10-month period, we have room for typically 5 cycles of assessment using ESAT, so we can track their progress and ensure that when they leave the program, they have met the outcomes related to employability skills, just as they're required to meet the outcomes for essential skills or technical skill development. So what ESAT actually does is it establishes a clear framework of definitions and examples, which I'll show you in a minute. It allows you to gather and share evidence based on observations of learner behaviors by your team, okay, and again from external assessors if you so choose. It allows learners to participate in a self-assessment process, and then it uses individual staff assessments which are then combined in a consensus process to create a single sort of employer perspective on the individual's behaviors. And that assessment is still subjective, but it's based on the common framework, it's based on the common examples, and it's based on observation data, so that you can say if you're scoring high or low what it was that caused you to do that. And that data is of course shared amongst the team, so you gain a better understanding of the individual that you're working with. So it facilitates discussion and consensus. And then in the end, as you'll see, it provides some clear outputs that help you see the contrast between how the person sees themselves and how they're seen by others, so that you can identify those differences, which are often at the root of why people get fired.